Hello there, I'm Anthony, and tonight I would like to talk about certain project I have recently found. I mean German Laudare and their newest album simply entitled Requiem. And I must admit for the next time that firstly I didn't get into this album very well, and I stopped listening before ending of the first track, but it's because I didn't have right mood for this album, I suppose. But later when I listened to it entirely, I figured out it's a combination of experimental black metal sound with some classical music, post-hardcore and Christian chorus. And then I really started asking myself why I didn't like this at the first time, as it intersects a lot with my type of music. And this album indeed turned out to be totally in my style, despite a little not interesting beginning in my opinion. It is black metal played in an intelligent way, and I have to say it's a little against myself, more intelligent than being just avant-garde black metal, as I wouldn't classify this album as pure avant-garde, although everything what is not typical for the genre can be classified as avant-garde. And it is what Mighty Christian from Dion and Embarla Firgasto once told me, and I completely agree. The sound of this album can be compared in my opinion to two bands. One which immediately came to my mind is probably known by some of you, Nostalgia. The violins here are pretty similar to violins on Alex releases, and the second one is rather unexpected pick, and it is, I hope, known by everyone here, Cobalt. American atmospheric black and sludgy metal, which greatly depicts cruelty of war, and which has very characteristic guitars. And guitars on Requiem sound pretty similar very often. Also, lyrics and titles here often refer to Christian themes, which with those chords, for example, give us a vibe of Sunday Mass, or rather victims praying in blood-borne Yarnam. But don't make it any longer and let's go to the album. I said I didn't like a little the beginning, so let's just move to the first track after the intro. Firstly we hear how black metal is blended with some post-hardcore. And later I would say there is a little screamo in here. Those DPLs give, in my opinion, vibe of screamo. And later some backing violin comes in. And the next track, well, doesn't it sound like Cobalt? A little slower, but still Cobalt. Later magnificent vocal blended with some violin. And later the Cobalt, I know I would say, fast and aggressive. The next track is again about vocals and violins in non-metal way, so as it's the same, let's move on to the next track. And this time it puts more effort on catchiness. Okay, I regret now that I didn't listen to this blast before. In the next track there generally doesn't happen anything specific for a long time, until that part comes. And now you hear that inspiration by Mozart isn't only about the title, while my favorite part of the next track is definitely the catchy beginning. Simple riffs that remind me of Heimland and High Spirit Noir, both great bands. While the next track instrumental reminds me of Promotion before Dark Souls 3, or rather Firelink soundtrack maybe. The second last track is definitely my favorite on the whole album. Hear that strength at the beginning, later my favorite chorus. And then how everything beautifully goes together. And the last track, which is kind of outro, I would say, with strong post-hardcore vibes in my opinion, and also with some chorus. And yeah, that was the whole album, and I must say I'm pretty amazed. I mean, it will definitely land on my top 50 albums of 2024. I don't know only where exactly. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I'm encouraging to sub my channel and to like this video if you enjoy my content here. And see you soon in my next creations.